How about the next parameter? Are we talking failure rate, or what do you like to talk next?
Well, I guess there's a couple other things we can chat about. Death loss is probably a hot topic. It's been the one the last few years that a lot of us have wrote about, and we've actually seen go up 1 to 1.5% a year. And a lot of people have done some studies. Iowa State did one a year ago looking at prolapses, and people like us, we dig deep into a lot of the data and start to look at some things. And that's an area that nobody's really got a big answer for why it continues to go up. We've seen some things happen. We've seen that there's a lot of shift now to the younger parodied animals that are dying and being culled. And the P0s, ones, twos, and threes, ones and twos in a lot of farms, 40 to 50% of the death loss in culls are those younger parodies. So what are we doing wrong? Are we trying to get too much productivity out of them early? Are we not developing them right? Is health a part of it? There's a lot of things we don't know there. Nutrition, all those things play a part in it. So it's an area that needs a lot more research and information. And I'm one of the ones who promoted that we need more of a standardization of death loss reasons. I looked at some data a while back and had 67 reasons for culls and deaths, and 30% of them were other or unknown. So really didn't tell us anything of why those animals were dying. So I think as an industry, we've got to look at some standardization of coming up with what we want to see and get it somewhat standardized so we can dig into what's going on and causing the problem. And in our database alone, I think our database is around about 10%, but there's variance from 4% to 24% in a year. So it's a huge variation across the industry. And it's how do we go about trying to solve that? Is it lack of good people in the units can see an animal as unhealthy and treat them? Or what are we doing wrong as far as developing of that animal?
I love that the what you mentioned on having that standard format. Is there a place today folks can go to kind of download the suggested standard format?
Probably not. And we wrote an article. I wrote articles for National Hog Farmer. We wrote an article 2 years ago, and we actually developed a list working with actually Chris Hostetler and Ken Stoller from Iowa State. And we published it out there, but we didn't get much take on it. So if somebody's interested in what we think the things ought to be, just give us a call and we will gladly send it to you. Awesome. And I think it's something we've got to look at is coming up with a shortened list of agreed upon reasons for deaths and culls.